All right. Well, let's talk about some slow pulp here. Yes, this is the second full length studio album from Slow Pulp, who was used to be based in Madison, Wisconsin, is now based in Chicago because if you're going to be somewhere in the Midwest, maybe that's where you got to be. Um, if if you don't like sad girl music, this album might not be for you. But I think there's a lot of really good stuff on this album. I sort of it was I didn't come across it organically. Someone sent it to me, and I really enjoyed it. To the point where I was, I think the more catchy guitar riffs are there to hold your interest. I think that the slow stuff has good songwriting to keep you engaged. And there was something about listening to this album in like the sort of early fall, so a couple weeks ago when all the leaves were changing and sky was getting a little gray, that I think just really matched the feeling of the season. So I really enjoyed this album a lot. My only complaint is that it wasn't quite long enough. 31 minutes, it felt like this album was over pretty quickly. And I would have loved to have maybe one longer track or a couple shorter tracks to kind of really explore this point in space and sound a little bit more. Um, it's not called short pulp, and I wanted it to be a little bit longer pulp. Yeah, so I know not everybody likes pulp and orange juice, but would love to hear what you guys like.
So I know I just got finished like ranting about sad girl music and not being on that vibe right now. And that's what I thought from my first listen. And then I was like, I need to re-listen to this album. And I actually really like it now. Sad girl music aside. I never have really been a big slow pulp fan. I think that was also kind of why, like my first initial listen, I wasn't really invested into um the music. But then I was like, what the hell, Doug? You got to give it a chance. So no, it's really good. It's actually really good. And I was finding myself like singing along to the songs too. And for me, that's when I really know that I like resonate with an album. So I actually really like this album a lot. So good, very good pick, James, with the sad girl music. You won me back.
I'm gonna double down on the sad girl thing. I liked the whole album, but I really liked the slower songs, the slower, even more sad girl songs on it. The songwriting, like you said, is just really good. And I don't love her voice, so I think that kind of threw me a little bit. Like, I could never get super into it because I don't love her voice, but I thought the songwriting was great and the production was really good too. So that I don't think I can ever call this a favorite, but I'll definitely keep listening to it. If only for the sad songs, I'll put them on my sad playlist and, cry to them and stuff. But it was great. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I've been a pretty big slow pulp. I would say really big slow pulp fan. I've been watching them for years and listening to them for years. And I remember when their first, I guess I don't know if it's their first EP, but I remember really being into that when it first came out. But and I totally forgot about their first album, Movies. You guys remember that one? I remember liking. It's always like I like one song on it like a lot on their stuff, and it's like the same thing here. I think it was Slugs that I think I was listening to a lot. I think that was a single. But yeah, it's good, and I think what James said about like the guitars kind of keep it interesting. They're not like super like in your face, but like there's always something going on where you're like, okay, yeah, and it keeps the vibe going. Yeah, it's chill. It's like that kind of 90s alternative influence going on in there that I'm loving. And yeah, I just another just solid album from these guys. They're still keeping it going for me. So
I didn't realize they're on. I was just looking. They're on Windspear Records. I didn't realize that.
Oh, I didn't know that either. Huh.
Yeah, so it's kind of a different sound for Windspear, but that's cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Anyway, go ahead, Jack.
No, I don't have too much to say, but really like the album. Definitely, I listened to it like twice. I need to listen to it some more. But I like I remember liking the rock songs on here too. You know, socks off. Yeah, they hit a lot of good songs, or a lot of good sounds. But I really like Doubt. I really like Cramps. And I like Slugs.
Yeah, I like the fusion with the rock parts, the riffs, really remind me a lot of Western Come, actually, where they're sort of they're used strategically to like make the songs interesting and keep your attention. Um, but in service of a different kind of vibe, and that's kind of the impression that I got on Mustard Come as well as well as Yard, was that like they're not going to inundate you with a bunch of big riffs, but we're going to use these guitars to sort of make a statement kind of thing. Well, glad you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, this is definitely an album that I think I'm going to be returning to a fair bit. I'd give it a strong 8. Somewhere in the 8.5 range. But actually, you know what? I'll give it a low 8, simply because I wanted more. And I'm sending a message that if you want a higher score, make it longer.